Charles, was this an improvised visit?
It definitely seems like it was. This morning, they were holding meetings about the strategy to be conducting over the next 2 weeks before the second round of voting. And then they saw Emmanuel Macron go to the north of France, Marine Le Pen's backyard. And that's when Marine Le Pen decided that she had to continue hitting that campaign trail, which she's done for the past few weeks. In contrast with Macron, that was a big argument that she was making, that she was going out there, crisscrossing the country, meeting French people and trying to get a sense of what their concerns were, and that's why she decided to change her plans and keep showing that face. And she chose this farm that I'm currently on in the village of Soucy, close to Thorigny-sur-Oreuse, in the Yonne department in the Burgundy region, because she apparently knew the owner of this farm, or at least knew one of the relatives of this owner of this farm, who accepted to have him over, and she used this as a backdrop to talk about the increase of food prices and prices of basic necessity going up, and this, in her opinion, being the result of Emmanuel Macron's policies over the last 5 years. And she actually used the opportunity and this backdrop to as well commentate on Emmanuel Macron's visit to Denain in northern France, saying that he's chosen to go to a place where he can see the ravages of his economic policy over the next 5 years. So again, Marine Le Pen really putting the emphasis on purchasing power, on the economic conditions of working people, and doing this in a region, in a rural region, but this could have been any working class area in France, and trying to not address too much some of her usual talking points historically for the national rally, being immigration or the role of Islam in France, and in a way addressing those social issues, perhaps to get those far left and left-wing votes in the second round.
So laying off the identity politics, because after all, her voters already know that she's about that, instead focusing on those bread and butter issues, as you say, Charles. But of course, the second round begins. It's a new campaign.
It's a new campaign for Marine Le Pen and for Emmanuel Macron as well, and the space and the landscape is much less crowded than it was with the 12 candidates we saw in the first round. That's just the two usuals in a way that we saw in the last election in 2017, two familiar faces in the French political landscape, Emmanuel Macron and Marine Le Pen, and she'll want to show a different face that she did 5 years ago, especially during the intra-round debate between the two that should be televised. And this is really where Marine Le Pen failed 5 years ago. She even admitted to as much, and she says, and her entourage is saying, that she's ready this time to really take on Emmanuel Macron in that sort of verbal jousting which will be taking place. You can sense that she's really been gearing up for this moment over the past 5 years, readdressing where her party stands, cutting ties with scandalous, controversial figures like her father, like her niece, Marion Maréchal Le Pen, trying to have more of a social tack, and also helped by the arrival of Eric Zemmour, which has sort of helped her look more normal, more palatable to mainstream voters.
Charles Pellegrin reporting live from the northern corner of Burgundy. Many thanks.